Here we are at the Lone Star Supercell in Houston, Texas for the penultimate race weekend of 2018, the Gaskins Gaskets 150. We entered this race with not a lot to talk about as all eyes are gazing at Talladega with the entry list sign-up finally concluded, and we have a perfectly 116 cars registered for the Try Hard 500 qualification, an even number, which is going to make things easier when they divide the groups for group qualifying and the qualifying races. As we must remind you, for the third consecutive year, the winner of the Try Hard 500 will be given a starting position on the Cleveland Grand Prix, which is why there are a couple of PCC Cup Series drivers, PCC drivers overall, entered in the Try Hard 500 to try and get a spot into the biggest stock car race in the planet, should they find themselves winning the biggest super speedway stock car race in the planet. Though participation by PCC drivers has lowered after all that happened in Talladega on the Cup Series last year, and honestly, can't quite blame them. But in the meantime, speaking about the North American Auto Club proper, we have been hearing the hustle and bustle of silly season, and we got a couple of updates in terms of lineups, starting with Barusho Racing. The team that entered the short track events across these last couple of seasons, they will make a foray into full-time competition with Danny Wright and a lot of support from Chrysler. The Connecticut driver has won 3 events in the North Division of the All-Star Series, so he has been showing a lot of promise, including that second place finish at the Ohio Motor Speedway, where he finished behind the subject of our next silly season update, because the Bumming Beaver 300 winner, Allison Smith, will remain in the Challenge Series despite David Tyner Racing leaving the tour at the end of the season. She is going to join Dwight Johnson Motorsports, which will expand to a true full-time car operation, joining Ashley Richardson, who will remain in the 58 car. We haven't heard a lot about sponsors so far, but we expect at least a couple of them that were with Allison at David Tyner Racing to move to DJM in 2019. And last but not least, we have been hearing more and more about the PCC teams that are joining or are already in the Challenge Series. Sample Sports and Red Star have not given us more developments. We have just heard the words soon. Otherwise, Johnson Racing, we are expecting to have 3 cars full-time. Zach Tech will actually have a driver change, as Lime Rock winner Joey Anderson is expected to run the PCC Truck Series full-time next year. And we've also been hearing some rumbles that the 03 car will be renumbered for next season, but no confirmation. We'll see. Anyway, we have lingered enough. Let's see how they line up for this one. And we talked about Joey Anderson. He's the surprise pole for today. He takes it over Lucy Martin, has been needing a good result to stay inside this championship fight, while Riley McKee and Caitlin Richler start one in front of another on the inside lane, while Ryan Faulkner gets a fair share of bonus points over his dad and Rebecca Pellerin, as those two are unable to start inside the top 5. Pellerin took 7th, Charlie took 10th. Jamal Schmidt takes 6th place in qualifying, and look at that, Ethan Collins, EC3 inside the top 10. Second time he does that this season. Last time he did it was a 9th place qualifying finish at Las Vegas all the way back in March. Failing to qualify today, we got a couple of cars that are good but not that good on longer tracks. Ashley Jolly, Creeper Stevenson, Mike Dixon, Sean Smith. 2 big unfortunate surprises in Allison Smith and Kristen Young right there. It's the 15th DNQ for Allie and the 4th for Kristen. So yeah, Allie couldn't make a miracle with a car that is subpar. We'll see what she can do next year with a car that is not subpar. That's the 4th DNQ for Kristen Young. Kevin Daly, Joyce Clements, and Craig Butler bring the rear of the DNQs. This race is scheduled for 110 laps, so 150 miles, a little bit under that to be more exact. But we only have fuel tanks good enough for 45 to 50 laps, meaning we expect a 2 pit stop race regardless of what happens this afternoon. The Lone Star Supercell was originally built for Champ Car races, but stock cars have made their home in here in the intervening years after Champ Car left in the late 2000s. The Supercell, or Houston Super Speedway as its government name is, It is a 1.333 mile D-shaped oval with well, not D-shaped, more like egg shape, with different bankings all over, because the front stretch is 6 degrees, the back stretch is 4.5, turns 1 and 2 are 17, turns 3 and 4 are 15, which means setups are a challenge to get it done, especially with the weather today, as we pull up with a scorching 104 degrees Fahrenheit off-season, with winds blasting 21 miles to the northwest. Everything's bigger in Texas, and so is the importance of this race for the Challenge Series Championship Trail. We've took our time. Let's go trackside for the start. Leading the field to the green, you see there Joey Anderson. The green flag is in the air, and we are on here at Texas. Lucy Barton delayed on the start quite a bit. Riley McKee has a look on the inside already, and he's already going for the second position. Ryan Faulkner trying to shift lines, almost get hit by Caitlin Richler, 3 wide. Coming out of turn number 2, Richler trying to get the third position, while McKee already having a look on the inside of Anderson. They are battling for the first position. McKee to the inside. Becky Pellerin right there with a jump. Ethan Collins right behind her in tow. Caitlin Richler doesn't even get third place because Becky Pellerin gets second. And Joey Anderson hangs on the outside. Ethan Collins trying to have a look. Jamal Schmidt back there. Luke Pellerin, you can see back with the red and white of the Tim Hortons scheme. And Becky Pellerin now takes second place. Back again on the white, brown, and orange of the A&W car. Luke Pellerin chasing down Charlie Faulkner, currently running in 11th after the first lap of the race. 4 wide, he forces a 4 wide with Brett Finley, Lucy Barton, and Charlie Faulkner. And Luke Pellerin trying to get into the top 10 together with his informal teammate Jamal Schmidt. Of course, the Luke Star and Ernest Roos Racing teams very close to each other. They go out of the same shop in Moncton, New Brunswick, but Luke Star Motorsports and Ernest Roos Racing are separate operations, so much so you can see by the difference in performance between them, as Becky Pellerin takes the lead. And as I was explaining, for example, Lee Schmidt only won 1 race this season. The Pellerins combined, I believe, have 9 wins. And you see there Ethan Collins battling with Ryan Faulkner, almost made contact. Charlie right there, Luke Pellerin and Jamal Schmidt right there as well. Lucy Barton has already dropped as far back as 19th place 4 laps in, so that was not just a delayed start. They definitely missed something in that setup. As you see there, Vernon Hargrove ahead of her. Her sister Tammy trying to lock the Rookie Challenge battle, not doing that so much so far, battling with her teammate Tony Hart and Megan McDonald. She's running in 30th. Right behind her, you see the former series champion Robert Burton as well, running in the back of the field. Back up front, battle for third. Ryan Faulkner and Caitlin Richler. Richler on the outside. Faulkner wins it out. Joey Anderson trying to have a look on the inside. Not enough. As you see how Becky Pellerin leads the way over Riley McKee, and Ryan Faulkner running in third place trying to gain enough points. Charlie Faulkner battling for the championship lead with Becky Pellerin. 12 points separate those two, so he's trying to keep her at arm's length, because a 3-position gap if Pellerin wins already means she's the championship leader. So Charlie Faulkner trying to hustle, get up forward, get to at least lead a lap, try to get those 5 points in so he can actually mitigate the gap if Becky is to win this race. 2015 series champion Corbin Dempsey won at Salem, punched his ticket in the championship battle, but right now he is losing a lot of points by running in 19th place. He needs to recover it now. He needs to finish inside the top 10 to keep his championship hopes alive, and the hope for Shield Motorsport alive as well. Carson Lambert making another start in his season here in the North American Auto Club, running in 24th place. Not a very solid run, chased down by Ruby Carson, Megan McDonald, Peter Johnson, one of the hometown drivers right there. The other hometown driver, Ashley Richardson, is a little bit further back. Lee Schmidt having a terrible run. I mentioned how Ernest was racing in Luke Star Motorsports, while they come out of the same shop and are pretty much operating as a 4-car operation, are very different in their philosophies, and you can see how Lee Schmidt has difficulty on the super speedways. Whoa! Contact there with Stan Gustafson and Boyd Abbott. That could have gone much worse than it actually did, but you see, this is the battle for 36th place. So not a very good day for the Ernest Lewis guys, while the Luke Star guys are up there up front. Ryan Faulkner to the inside of Riley McKee for the second place. He's starting to try to chase down Becky Pellerin. This might be the battle for the win here in Houston. As you see right there how he begins to chase down the number 27, Charlie Faulkner, stuck there right behind Ethan Collins, battling for the 6th position. We are only 10 laps in, so you have an idea. So there's a lot of things going on while the field refuses to chill for this 110 lap race. So they know what the calling is, they know what the marching orders are, and it is get to the front as quick as possible, try to win this race. And Faulkner on the inside of Luke Pellerin, battling for the 5th position, side by side. Ethan Collins having a look as they start to open a little bit of a gap over Joe Anderson and Thomas Tucker, who are battling for the 7th position. And as you see right there, top 5 is Becky Pellerin, Ryan Faulkner, Riley McKee, Caitlin Richler. Then you see Charlie Faulkner nose ahead of Luke Pellerin, and Ethan Collins closes the top 6. They're gonna cross the line. Becky Pellerin opens lap number 12 of 110. You see now how the battle for the lead begins as we open lap 14. Becky Pellerin hanging on to the 1st position, chased down by Ryan Faulkner. Faulkner trying to have a look. Riley McKee trying to capitalize if things go wrong with those two. Caitlin Richler giving chase, trying to stay on the top 5. As you see there how they started to chill a little bit more. There are more single file, but that doesn't mean the battles are over. Not at all. And you can see how Faulkner tries to have a look as Pellerin goes a little bit too wide on the corner. A little bit too wide. The pressure worked. Ryan Faulkner is right alongside her. She closes the line. Of course, a very narrow racing line here in Houston. Regardless of how wide the track is, there's only a couple of ways to go fast around this circuit. So you don't see a lot of jostling, a lot of fanning out aside from those first few laps. As the field chills, you start seeing this more consistent line forming, and Ryan Faulkner continues to chase the race leader. Riley McKee is going to try to have a look on the inside. Is it going to be enough? He has a little bit of assistance from Caitlin Richler. Is it enough? Side by side, he almost hits the 89, but they are battling very closely for the 2nd position. Richler trying to have a look on the outside of her fiance. Side by side, Luke Pellerin having a look on the inside. Doesn't look like something's gonna happen. It is not gonna happen. They still side by side as they come out of turn number 2 into the back straightaway. And Richler has the nose ahead. Now Luke Pellerin's gonna try to do a double whammy. He dives to the inside, trying to make something happen. He's gonna pass McKee. He's gonna set his sights on Richler. Richler is gonna end up stealing 3rd place. And Luke Pellerin is gonna get 4th there, side by side with McKee, as Kendra Brittany has caught her teammate Collins. Collins now running in 7th place. 8th place Kendra Brittany, 9th place Thomas Tucker in the 9. And Tucker trying to also be a title contender. Warren Majeski, if you were able to notice right there, in 10th place. A fantastic start for the number 1 Amish Mazda. Battle for position, but again, now we focus on Majeski. Majeski won at the most part Q47, mainly because of the rain that occurred with only around 22, 23 laps to go. But overall, he's been slowly improving his standing, starting to get really used to this car. So seems like that win has given him a little bit of motivation, and he now feels, a little bit more like himself. He's getting a little Kavorka. He's getting a little chutzpah in himself. While Corbin Dempsey running in 18th place, improving very slowly. Lucy Martin right there in 16th. Thomas Culler in 17th on the 02. Riley McKee still embroiled in this fight with Charlie Faulkner. Luke Pellerin now has the nose ahead. Charlie Faulkner is going to push him past to try to get the 5th position for himself. As they continue to fight, they continue to jostle and hustle for position. Brett Finley running in 13th did not have a very good showing at Salem after drilling the rear end of Meg McDonald. He has had a bit of a difficult season. Quite a few moments of his in short tracks this year for a driver that won his 2 career wins on short tracks. But we're going to see what happens when Johnson Racing takes over the effort, because he's going to drive the flagship of that car. We're going to see what he can do with it. The full-time flagship. Of course, Johnson Racing is going to be in the 31 car. And as far as we know, that car does not have a set amount of drivers. We're going to see what happens as we've been hearing a lot. But it seems like Finley's going to stay on the 15. And then we're going to have the 51 as a 3rd entry for that team. We don't know who's going to drive that full-time as of now. Jamal Schmidt running in 14th place, chased down by Athena Whitley and Thomas Culler. Culler running fairly well. And one thing that I've talked about, we've heard about, is the 02 actually being possible to get a provisional. As we look at the field, how the field splits. 25 laps in, you got the first line with 9th place, 10th, 11th, McHenley, 12th, Joey Anderson, 13th, Brett Finley. Then you have the second pack led by 14th place Jamal Schmidt with Thomas Culler, Athena Whitley, and Corbin Nipsey. And you have just a long line of cars. The third pack led by Ibiki Murata, who is not having a good race so far in the Houston Superspeedway. Boyd Abbott also not having a very good run. Likewise, the number 30 of Dirk Williamson, who needs a good result today to be able to fight Timmy Barton for the Rookie Challenge crown. So 38th place is not good at all. Though that team should be thankful for qualifying. They don't have a provisional. They would be knocked out if they didn't qualify, at least for this race. They made it in. That's already a win. But, you know, getting that feather on your cap would be more meaningful, would be cooler, would be better. Chris Endicott also having a very difficult early race so far. Ryan Faulkner running solid there in second, but under threat from the older Pellerin. Is it enough? Not enough so far as they get to the front straight away. Caitlin Richler right there. So you got 5 drivers in the top 5 that we know are very solid short trackers. That's the thing. 5 very solid short trackers. But the thing is, we got short trackers all over in this race. For example, Brett Finley now on the inside of Joey Anderson. Joey Anderson from the Champ Car Series. He did cut his teeth on the short tracks driving midgets in the Midwest, but he was running on the Champ Cars. He started to make this move, this lateral move towards stock cars, and it has been paying off. He's doing fairly well in his start in the PC Truck Series. Not as good as he did here in the North American Auto Club with his win at Lime Rock as a rookie in a car that he took over because Jason Prescott was unceremoniously done away with after failing to qualify twice in a team that had a provisional. He was able to lose that provisional for them. Joey Anderson put them back. As we reach lap number 35, as things have chilled, we've been able to fast forward a little bit. And you see how Becky Pellerin is under attack. You see how the 89 hounds down the 27. You see how Caitlin Richler is starting to fade away a little bit with Charlie Faulkner. As the field chills, the tires start to make their presence known, for lack of a better term. You start to see the gaps beginning to get larger and larger as Thomas Tucker battling for 6th position with Kendra Brittany, the winner at Flemington and Toronto. Toronto with new asphalt, Flemington with old asphalt. Flemington's being repaved for next season. Let's see how she's gonna do. So much so, I have to remind you, Kendra Brittany beat Becky Pellerin on a last lap pass in Toronto. So she denied Pellerin a very popular Canadian win. And whoa, engine up on the 06 of Athena Whitley. She slows down the field. Whoa, 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 miss her. Yellow's out. I don't see why they wouldn't call a yellow for that. She slows down, holds back the entire line. Tammy Barton, unfortunate there, ended up right behind the 06, getting all that grime on the windshield. Good thing there's stare-offs, but that ruined the day for Tammy Barton, and is right before the pit cycle was slated to begin. We were only around 5 laps away, so you see everyone pouring into the pits in a single file line. And the thing is, things don't change much. The standings remain the same. Becky Pellerin, followed by Ryan Faulkner, Luke Pellerin, Caitlin Richler, Charlie Faulkner, Thomas Tucker, and Kendra Brittany were battling for position. Riley McKee, Ethan Collins, Warren Majeski closes the top 10. Joey Anderson actually loses the position to Brett Finley and McHenley. McHenley gains those 2 positions. But overall, not a lot of difference inside the top 10. Becky Pellerin is going to lead the field to the green. Green flag is in the air here once again in Toronto on lap number 45 of 110. We expect the cycle, though, to be a little bit shorter because I don't think anyone's going to risk running it until the end. At least from what we are hearing from radio chatter, a lot of people are going to try to stop at least 10 laps before the cycle would end. So we're going to have a shorter, like 35, 36 lap run, if not even earlier. So they're planning on pitting on lap 80 if radio chatter is to be believed. Ryan Faulkner did beat Becky Pellerin to the stripe, but as she comes out of turn number 4, She has the nose ahead, but he has a little bit more grip. But Becky Pellerin continues to lead, hangs on to the first position. Luke Pellerin's gonna have a look for second place. Caitlin Richler is gonna try to do a dive bomb for second. She gets the nose ahead, but she has to slow down a little bit more than the other two. But they remain side by side as they hit the back straight away. But Ryan Faulkner is gonna get a little bit of an edge over Luke Pellerin, and Pellerin is gonna get a little bit of an edge over Caitlin Richler. They're side by side, the 88 and 89. Side by side as they enter turn number 4. But leaving turn number 4, Faulkner is able to hang on as you see Charlie Faulkner fighting with the 26 of Kendra Brittany and the 2 of Caitlin Richler. Ethan Collins having a fantastic run, running all over them, fighting for that position as Charlie Faulkner is going to take 4th place side by side with Caitlin Richler, trying to make something happen right there. As we look at the back of the field, Carson Lambert had a bit of a problem on the pits, ended up falling all the way back to the last position, running 39th place. Robert Burton, in the meantime, was able to climb on newer tires. Him and Ashley Richardson were, well, we believe they were a little bit of sandbagging because they were below the top 20. They're now fighting to get into the top 20. Completely different paces. As you see how Joy Thorson chasing down the 28 of Vernon Hargrove, and Joy Thorson gets a little bit to the outside. Ashley's not gonna like that. Ashley is not gonna like that at all. If you've been following social media, you know that Vernon Hargrove and Ashley Richardson are an item, and if you follow social media, you know about Ashley Richardson's escapades otherwise. If I were Joey, I would run. In the meantime, Riley McKee has fallen a little bit of an edge. He finds himself in 10th, battling with Warren Majeski and Brett Finley for that position. Mac Henley jumped to 9th place, having a very solid run. The 2014 Series champion. Oh my lord, the 2013 Series champion. Mac Henley, remember, last rookie to win the title as a rookie, 2013. 2014 was Kirk Jones, 2015 was Corbin Dempsey, just so you have an idea. 2016, Kelly Ashcroft, 2017, Becky Pellerin trying to defend that title as you see her battling with Ryan Faulkner for the lead, while Luke Pellerin and Charlie Faulkner, her direct title contenders, all 3 of them, trying to get that position from her, trying to unseat her as Charlie Faulkner leading the championship, trying to become a first-time champion. He would be the oldest first-time champion in series history, bear in mind. As you see right there, Ryan Faulkner on the inside gets the edge ahead. Is it enough? As we enter lap 53 of 110, he gets the nose ahead, and Ryan Faulkner seems to be able to take the lead as they get to turn number 3 and 4. Is he going to be able to push a little bit further than the 27 can hold? He does. The 27 gets a little bit loose, and exiting turn number 4, Ryan Faulkner is your new race leader, pushed by Papa, and Charlie Faulkner gets the 3rd position, tried to go for 2nd. Dirk Williamson started climbing again, and problems for the 30. Problems for the number 30 tire down for Dirk Williamson, and there goes his race. A right rear puncture takes Dirk Williamson out of 27th place, and this is something that Tammy Barton needed to hear on her radio, because that's another direct contender for the Rookie Challenge. Done. Well, not done. He's gonna come back, but in terms of gaining positions, there goes his chances. As Luke Pellerin continues to fight, Caitlin Richler passes him, and as you see, Kendra Brittany and Ethan Collins have caught them together with Thomas Tucker and Mac Henley. And now we got the top 10, a little bit of single file. Kendra Brittany puts the scare on the 88, and she's gonna try to pass him for the 5th spot, but Thomas Tucker right there ready to steal the position. To the inside, the number 9 is gonna try to make it happen. Is it enough? Caitlin Richler is right there. Not enough so far. As you see the battle for 2nd continuing between Faulkner and Pellerin, while Ryan Faulkner leads as they open lap 56. We are now with only one half. We're now on the back half of this race. Charlie Faulkner for the lead. Is it enough? Side by side, nose ahead as they come into the back straightaway. If Ryan moves to the inside a little bit, he just gives a little scoot to the inside. Charlie can actually get a little bit of a drafting help, but Ryan, I don't think, wants to help any of them. Like, Charlie might be his dad, but he's also a title contender. Ryan's not gonna give Dad any breaks, especially because he can outscore Dad. So that's the thing. Charlie battling very closely with his son. You see the inside, trying to have a look, but Charlie blocks the line, hangs it on He's not going to give him any breaks. I've said it before, I said it again. He's not going to give his dad any breaks. Caitlin Richler trying to have a look there on the inside. She's going to set up a move, and Charlie's going to set up a move on his own with a push from Becky Bellerin. And Kendra Brittany's going to do a dive there. Charlie Faulkner to the lead with a little push of Caitlin Richler. Richler trying to push past the 27. Richler and Bellerin are very good friends off track. But when it comes to on track, I've never seen two ladies put a bigger fight against each other, especially on the short tracks. These two have had some notable wars in the previous seasons. Ruby Carson currently running in 16th place, battling with the 19 of Jenny Irving, a Trans Am driver that's been doing a few starts trying to get acclimated to ovals. We haven't heard anything of her transferring away from Trans Am, but just that she grew an interest about stock car racing and just getting the grips with it. Ashley Richardson running samples, two veterans with a former Try Hard 500 winner on the outside. Joey Thorson right behind them, the defending Try Hard 500 winner, Vernon Hargrove. Thorson won 2016, Hargrove won 2017. It's why he landed the 28, which I think we already talked about, was the number Ashley used to drive for when she drove for S2 Motorsports. Then she had that terrible injury. In 2013, that car cycled across many drivers. And then in 2014, Connie Brooks was tapped in to drive that car because at one point it just became a money thing for that team, and they needed a driver with proven funding and skill, and Connie Brooks provided that until that unceremonious exit at the start of the season where they got Vernon Hargrove in a desperation move. But a desperation move that's slowly paying off. That car is going to remain with a provisional for next year, despite a couple of failures to qualify by Hargrove. And as you see there, Ryan Faulkner battling with Thomas Tucker for the lead on lap 65. Tucker passes easily for second place. As Charlie Faulkner took the lead. And there goes Thomas Tucker for the second position, chasing down the 85 when it comes to super speedways and fast tracks. Problems for Carson Lambert. Right rear puncture as well. Same issue as Dirk Williamson. There goes his race as well, but he wasn't having a very good race since the pit stops. He was driving in 34th place when the tire went down. Problems there for Ethan Collins. Ethan Collins is slow on the track. Engine issues, and there goes Ethan Collins' miracle run. He was running in 9th place. The engine for the 16 is gone. That's the second NAAC car with engine issues. And if I'm Kendra Brittany, the alarms must be blaring. That is the second car down for the 06, 16, 26, 46 Armada. Thomas Tucker to the inside of Charlie Faulkner, lap 70 off 110, 41 laps to go, trying to make something happen right there. Ryan Faulkner on the inside trying to make something happen on Tucker. Both fail on their objectives, but Faulkner is going to have a run on the back straightaway coming to turn number 3. Is it going to be enough? Tucker is able to hold on the following lap. Carson Lambert's going to come out of the pits, and he's going to come out of the pits on new tires right in front of the leaders. And this could be a little issue because he's going to be on pace, if not even better with newer tires. Charlie Faulkner is able to hold the outside. They all pick the inside and end up losing a lot of time. Charlie Faulkner is going to retain the lead. And because of the aerodynamics of these cars, well, they're nearly non-existent. These are shoe boxes, very messy to lug around and draft around. The rest of the top 5 is going to be stuck with each other. Becky Bellerin dive bomb for second place. Thomas Tucker is going to try to retain third, but there goes Luke on the inside trying to steal the third place as Carson Lambert continues to chase down Charlie Faulkner on turn number 3. He might try to set up a move and recover one lap, which would be a big deal. It is a big deal. He goes for the inside and is going to pass the 85, and this is a big deal because if the caution comes out, Carson Lambert's running 38th place. He gets the lifeline. He's back in the running. Problems! And this is bad. Marcy Crawford, lap 75, the engine gives up. And this is bad. This is bad for Kendra Brittany, who's running right there in 8th place behind McHenley. McHenley goes to the pits. He bails 30 laps into the run, and he's going to the pits. He's the first taker, almost wipes out the 26. That's something we got to figure out about the Lone Star Super. So a lot of people make these dives. Joey Anderson comes in Thomas Culler, Jamal Schmidt comes in. And that is the second pit stop cycle on Thomas Tucker, and Luke Pellerin also come in on the following lap. Together with them is Kendra Brittany, I believe. Yes, she comes in as well. The 15 of Brett Finley also coming in. The 77 also appearing in as the field comes by. Jenny Irving appearing as well as a lot of the field comes by. There's a car around. Chris Endicott and Sten Gustafsson around. The caution is out in the middle of the pit cycle, and this is gonna be a mess to sort. We're gonna see what happened there, and oh my god, he wasn't clear. He wasn't clear, and I don't think the spotters of either Chris Endicott or Sten Gustafsson knew they weren't clear. The 63 just wiped out the 95. We're glad this wasn't something bigger or in the middle of the pack like it would have been with Mac Haley and Kendra Brittany. That could have been a big one. But this is going to be something you're going to have to talk about after the race. As Carson Lambert, you see, is going to wave around the field, and he is back on the lead lap with a chance of gaining positions. The drivers that didn't pit are going to have to pit now, and this is going to be a little bit messy because now the running order is going to change substantially. Mainly, not because of the front. The front's gonna actually be fine, but a lot of drivers ended up having to wave around and recover their laps because they fell a lap down. So Charlie Faulkner's gonna keep on the lead, but the drivers that pitted like Thomas Tucker, Luke Pellerin, Kendra Brittany, they fell a lap down. They're gonna have to wave around. Okay, they're gonna have to wave around to be back on the lead lap because they pitted before the pits were closed. They lost a lap. So you see how everyone comes out. Very normal, very procedural. But Charlie Faulkner is going to remain in the lead. He's going to remain in the lead. He's going to cycle. Everyone's going to pit. Oh, no. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. The championship leader, engine up in smoke with only 25 laps to go. Charlie Faulkner's done for the afternoon. From the lead of the race, under caution, we don't know what happened to the 85. We're only going to be able to know what happened post-race, but he is done, and this changes everything. Becky Pellerin is in third place. Not only now she's back in the championship lead, she can increase her gap to the rest of the leaders. Green flags in the air, and look at the start Caitlin Richler gets a fantastic start on the outside. Brian Faulkner is going to try to fight back. Is Richler going to be able to clear him as she comes out of turn number 2? She will. Fantastic restart. And Caitlin Richler is leading the way. She's trying to get the second win for HQS Racing this season. Battle in the middle of the top 5 right there. So Corbin Dempsey jumps into the top 5. Lee Schmidt jumps into the top 10. Mega McDonald, Corbin Dempsey now becomes a credible title contender because they didn't pit in the first go around. So they didn't lose a lap. They are now on the peak of the field while the rest of the pack has to actually chug along and try to make it back. Mainly Thomas Tucker and Luke Pellerin. They're going to have to row their little boats all the way back up while the top 4 is opening a gap to the rest of the top 10. And you see there Omega McDonald running in 5th place, hanging on, but Caitlin Richler leading away over Riley McKee, over Becky Pellerin, over Ryan Faulkner. And you see there are 4, almost 5 wide there. Peter Johnson, Tony Hart, Rob Burton, Joey Turkson running strong there. Robert Burton inside the top 15 as well, now inside the top 10. Luke Pellerin, you see there how now he's up to 22nd place trying to chase down everybody, but he's in the back of the pack together with Thomas Tucker. Those two haven't been able to get away from each other all afternoon, and this is getting to put a lot of strain on that Ashcroft Luke Starfield that began after that penalty at Raw Revere after the 3-week break. And we're starting to see a little bit of a shade being thrown each side after the wreck at Salem, after practice this weekend, after qualifying. They're just trying to start get each other's throats, and we're so close to the end of the season. Problems for Becky Pellerin. Tire down, lap front down on Becky Pellerin's car from 3rd place, and that is another championship implication moment. With only 2 weeks remaining, the top 2 in the championship have problems of their own. Becky Pellerin is going to lose a lap in the pits. and she's gonna be in a position where she could lose the championship lead as well. Both Charlie Faulkner and Becky Pellerin running into issues, and the biggest beneficiary right now is this man, Ryan Faulkner. As we look at replay from a couple of laps ago, just so you don't think that Becky Pellerin is in the lead back, just so you don't think that's what's happening. But we were showing how he took the lead from Caitlin Richler to show how he's the biggest beneficiary right now. Another gainer is Thomas Tucker. He's now up to 7th place, climbing around. So the car quality so far has made a difference more than the tires have. But Peter Johnson running inside the top 10, benefiting from that pit stop. He's running 26th. He's running 6th. He started 26th. As you see the field now, Faulkner, McKee, and Faulkner, Richler, McKee, Warren Majeski running inside the top 5. As you see how Becky Pellerin is now in the rear end of the pack. When she merged, she missed the front pack. Different than Carson Lambert, she caught the rear pack. But she's running right now in 35th place, behind most of the people that she's ahead on in the track. But she now needs a caution. That's the thing. She's gonna need a caution more importantly now than ever, as the field tries to sort itself out, battle for position. As you see right there, Carson Lambert and Chris Endicott get together, and I talked about a caution. Becky Pellerin got it. She gets a break that I don't even think she wanted to get, and that's the second caution caused by Chris Endicott. He just overdrove, and I'm surprised Carson Lambert was able to hang on to it. But he hangs on to it, and we get a caution late with only 15 laps to go. Ronnie Sample's car overheats. They decide to take the whole front end out. They know there's only 10 laps left. He doesn't need it. He's not going to be bump drafting people. He doesn't need that front end. It's overheating. Take the whole thing out. It's going to cool if it wants it or not. And as you see how Becky Pellerin cycles around the field, no one else fits. And we're going to have the restart very shortly. We're going to have about 10, 11 laps of the green flag run. The other car to pit is the 30 of Dirk Williamson. He's going to get new tires, but he's going to restart a little bit further back. But it's the second puncture he has on that car, this time on the right front. The previous puncture was on the right rear, so they were trying an aggressive setup, and unfortunately the aggressive setup wasn't working because he wasn't gaining positions well enough. And now he's back a little further behind. Restart with only 11 laps to go on lap number 100 of 110, and the green flag is out, and this time Richler gets the nose ahead again, but Faulkner restarts on pace. Is it a dead heat? Not enough. Richler clears him before turn number 1. He's gonna try to recover on the inside lane, and now they're side by side. Now it's a real dead heat. They're side by side for the first position. The 89 has the nose ahead, and the number 22 chasing down, trying to make something happen there, with Thomas Tucker trying to get the 4th position, Majeski trying to hang on to it, but Riley McKee's gonna get 3rd place. Solid lead. Becky Pellerin and Ryan Faulkner still side by side. Richard is gonna try to get the nose ahead, but Faulkner's gonna lead the lap. 1 lap later, 10 to go. McKee on the inside, trying to make something happen on his own. Those two have been hounding the top 5 all day. This might be HQS's second win of the season, or Ryan Faulkner's second win of the year. Lee Schmidt starting to drop behind together with Megan McDonald, battling for position. He's not going to go quietly into the night either, as McKee gets the nose ahead of Richler, and he's going to take the 2nd position from his fiance. Luke Pellerin right there in 4th place, trying to make the move on the inside. Not enough. Not enough. Richler retains the 2nd position. Becky Pellerin now in 28th place, trying to climb as many positions as she can, just to not lose the championship lead. Just to not lose the championship lead, or at least, at the very least, stay at arm's length of the leaders. And she's driving like a woman possessed. She knows she has to do it, and she has new tires. The problem is, look at how the pack is fanning out and has so many cars to pass. The problem isn't so much the speed. The problem is the where. Where does she snakes troop? Where does she snakes by? As we reach 7 laps to go, Faulkner leads the single file train, the adventure line between the top 6 of Faulkner, McKee, Richler, Pellerin, the older Pellerin, Thomas Tucker, and Warren Majeski. Majeski hanging on very well to the 6th position. Peter Johnson leading the second pack over Corbin Dempsey, Lee Schmidt, and Mac Henley. Lee Schmidt hanging on to 9th place. Mega McDonald right there in 11th. Another very good oval run for a driver that we were hoping was going to have her best performances on road courses. Another surprise. Whoa! Joey Anderson almost gets together with Lucas Calhoun. Robert Burton right there in 14th. Kendra Brittany in 15th, with Kendra Brittany running in 16th. One of the victims of the pit cycle, and with a lot of difficulty to actually capitalize on her speed like Thomas Tucker did. Thomas Tucker and Luke Pellerin made it to the front of the field. Kendra Brittany did not. 3 laps to go. McKee makes his move to the inside of the 89. Is it gonna be enough? Richler and McKee side by side. Faulkner and McKee. Luke Pellerin gives a push to his fellow Canadian, and Riley McKee has the nose ahead, and Riley McKee takes the lead here in Houston. He takes the lead very late. 2 laps to go, but Faulkner's not gonna give up. He's gonna try to fight this one until the end, but Luke Pellerin to the inside, hanging on. Richler pushing the 88. Is it enough? Doesn't look like it is. And Faulkner hangs on to the second position, chased down by the 88. The 88 fighting side by side with the number 2. The 22 leads away. The 9 trying to push the 88 past Richler. Is it enough? Looks like it's not. They're still very even. And 1 lap to go. White flag is in the air. Only one mile and a third for Riley McKee to win this race, but he's under threat. Ryan Faulkner has been very solid today. He has been chasing him down. He now has only just a little bit more to make the pass on McKee. Does he have enough space on the back straightaway? Doesn't look like he is. He's gonna get one last chance on the turns. Is it gonna be enough? He gets the nose in, tries to set up the move. McKee blocks him. Is Faulkner's gonna try to do something? He's gonna try to set up a move on the inside, but Dirty Air is gonna get in the way. Riley McKee gets win number 2 of 2018. Riley McKee steals the win from Ryan Faulkner at the last 3 laps. And the nice Faulkner, his first real points win, as Ryan has spoken about as this whole season, especially after that rain out win in Dover. Caitlin Richler finishes 3rd, showing HQS Racing and Toyota got that dog in them and are more than ready to fight for a triple, well, not triple, quadruple top 10 in the championship, while Luke Pellerin and Thomas Tucker cannot get away from each other at all. They crashed each other at Salem. Now they finish 4th and 5th. Warren Majeski gains 8 positions to finish 6th, and Peter Johnson gains 20 to finish 7th at home, helped a lot by that second caution that threw a wrench on the race, while Corbin Dempsey and Mac Henley, 2 former champions, 8th and 9th. And after his win at Salem, Dempsey now guaranteed in the fight for the title, while Lee Schmidt closes out the top 10. And now, leaving Texas with only 1 weekend left in the championship, we have a new points leader by the narrowest of margins. Ryan Faulkner takes the championship lead by a measly 2 points over Rebecca Pellerin, who finished 17th. Had she finished 16th, she would be 1 point ahead. This is how narrow this championship has grown to be at the finest hour of it. And we are only looking at the top 2 when saying that. Luke Pellerin and Corbin Dempsey are only separated by 2 points also, and are only 28 and 30 points away from Rebecca and Ryan. So the penalty by Luke at Trois-Rivières seems to not have actually cost him contendership at all, just dented it. It has dented his chances, but not ended them. Charlie Faulkner's engine, giving up the ghost from the lead, has him fall 39 points down after entering the race 12 points up as the championship leader, while Thomas Tucker remains in striking distance of the championship, 51 points down. The last mathematical contender entering Talladega remains Lucy Barnton, but 222 points down should depend on a whole lot of luck in qualifying to get to the Try Hard 500 as a title contender. But never discard miracles, because you never know when they will happen. The only notable position change aside from the top 6 is down in the order, as Peter Johnson jumps back into the top 20 and Ruby Carson drops to 20th place. Ronnie Samples below the top 20. Overall, you look right there, not a lot of position changing. That's the only position change we got in the top 20. In the Rookie Challenge, the battle is over. Demi Barton's 18th place finish today has ensured she even if she completely whiffs qualifying and misses both the Marlisle duels and Try Hard 500, she can no longer be caught for the lead. As a matter of fact, whiffing qualifying would be better for that. So your 2018 Rookie of the Year is Demi Barton, on the back of one of the most consistent rookie seasons we've seen of late. There was a bit of controversy when she began with clearance to contest the Rookie Challenge, since she already had multiple starts in the 97 after Stan Gustafsson got injured at Talladega. But I think the fact that she was consistent and she wasn't the rookie to win races this year. We got 4 rookies that won races this season. Allison Smith, Warren Majeski, Kendra Brittany, Joey Anderson. Demi Barton hasn't won a race yet. It showed that she had a lot to learn and build up, and she takes this title, puts that feather in her cap. But it was an incredible performance on match with the other rookies, so it's not like she had an unfair advantage at all. Was an incredible performance, and we're gonna see what she has in store for us in 2019 as she enters her second full-time season. Last but not least, the Owners' Championship. We will no longer account the top 24 because it is no longer needed. In the next race, provisionals are not at play aside from the mathematical title contenders. And the past champions provisional, and those only work in the duels. We're gonna be able to talk to you more about the format of the Try Hard 500 when that comes around. But just so you know, top 24 doesn't matter for that qualifying. So now we're only showing to you the battle for 32nd place, and it's pretty tight. Ethan Collins could have furthered his standing, but that engine failure put him in dire straits because he's only 2 points ahead of the O2 that is shared by Lexi Percy, Tom Kohler, and Emily Pauvin. That's a part-time car that is gonna run the Try Hard 500, but consider that the other full-time cars out of the top 32 are also within striking distance. The Overton 63 is barely 70 out. The Tyner 200 could still find a way to steal the 32nd position, only 143 behind. And we got 2 races, so there is a position play to be done here. Things could change. Otherwise, from the Overton 23 above, everyone else is more than 1 race safe, meaning they could be able to withstand the duels fine. But if things go sideways in those, the final race of the season could still shift provisionals around. We are now 33 races down. 3 races are left. 2 of them set the final. We are now at the climax of the 35th season of the North American Auto Club Challenge Series, powered by GripAll. We'll see you at Talladega for the Marlisle Duels in the 26th annual Try Hard 500 on Veterans Day, where this season will finally come to an end, and we could crown either Rebecca Pellerin or Corbin Dempsey as 2-time champions, or Luke Pellerin, Charlie Faulkner, Ryan Faulkner, Thomas Tucker, or Lucy Barton as new champions for the first time. See you there.